so far is we built the frame for the trampoline. You know, the net going between here and there, and this will all be like a net where you can lay down or sit or whatever. And so we got the mahogany here that we had cut at the lumber yard that's got a milling machine and all the correct stuff to make whatever size lumber we need. It's bowed, and that's good because it follows more follows the shape of the outside. Otherwise it'd be just a rectangle, but now it kind of bows with the side of the boat. We put enough, I pushed up on that mahogany to make sure it wouldn't break with my chubby self. 100 kilos roughly, 200 pounds. It handled it. My wife tested it first. She's half my weight, and then she tested it, then I did. And so, but it'll be, the load will be distributed across here with the net, and it'll be going all different ways. So hopefully we'll have a sturdy enough net. If not, hopefully well, we're not going to play. We're going to plan on anything negative going down here. It just we're going to have a trampoline that works. We could also put a brace across the center from here to here under, just like we did this. See, we drilled bolts and then put this bolt through here. That's how we joined this. We got a little bit of wiggle room here because the net is going to roll around this. The trampoline is going to roll around this, and this also gives a little bit of wiggle room for if these start to bow down and it pulls this in. We got a little bit of slop here to wiggle the net back and forth, and easy to put on and take off. It's resting on the stainless steel bolts here, as you can't see the lighting there. Okay, yeah, it's resting on there, so that's where it will rest. And it also double as keeping the bolts that stick out from somebody jumping off here and scratching their back or their leg or something, or sitting on here and scratching, you know, the bolts, you know, sticking them in the leg. So that works out nicely. We'll trim these guys down here because these are a little bit long, but we got all stainless steel stuff. So after we put washers and self-locking nuts and all that on all these, then we'll trim whatever ones we need to trim down. Cut them off with our little angle grinder blade thing. So we're gonna, it's getting dark on the camera. It's not dark out here. This is lunchtime. So anyway, we're gonna go to lunch. We'll be back, and then we'll move that hole over here and join everything up. And we'll actually have an actually completely joined boat at that point. And that's going to really be cool because this never happened before. Everything joined at once, but we're going to do that, and then we'll really get a good vision of what we have before us. So anyway, we're gonna get lunch and we'll be back with more. And we're gonna we gotta sand these down, make them smooth, around these sharp edges and stuff like that, round them with a grinder. We got a sanding disc with a grinder, round all this stuff off, smooth off these sharp little points on the corners and stuff, round all that off, make it all comfortable, comfy, soft, non-aggressive, just a load of fun. So we will be back with a load of fun from my paradise on Battalion Island. Yeehaw! You'll get to see all three boats, hulls joined today. So, and so will I. Bye for now. We are back from lunch, and you can see we got all this here joined up. We got the little frame here for the trampoline, and we're about to do the same on this side here. So I've inserted this removable piece into there, and that goes again to the center. As you can see it there where this see it moving, it goes to there, and then the other one we'll put it, that one there, over into here too. And we got to pick this guy up and work him over this way. Yeah, honey, we're gonna have to take that wood down. Okay, so anyway, we're going to join all these. These are all going to be bolted up and joined like a real trimaran in just a little bit. So we will be back with more once we get this done. From my paradise on Battalion Island, we're making 3 into 1. Bye for now. All right, we're on the second trampoline frame here, and we're leaving a little gap, you can see, between the board and the hull here, so it's not rubbing. And also net's going to be wrapped around there too, so we don't know how thick it's going to be, so we got to leave a little wiggle room, and the same here too. So we've got that one cut and drilled. We got this one has to be 3 inches from here, which all the others were 2, but because this board's not as warped as the other ones, which I wanted warped to kind of fit the curve of the boat, but it's not. And to get that gap there, we had to make this one 3, and this one over here is still 2 inches at this line here going into here. It's 2 inches wide there. So now we're going to take and cut this piece here, this guy here, piece of mahogany 2x2, from the width from right here over to right here, and it'll of course go under here, and then we'll drill a hole and bolt it just like we did those. So that's our next step. So I'm going to put the camera down and measure and mark and cut and drill and drop some bolts through, and then it will be looking like a frame. Then after that, we're going to have to sand these things, because they're kind of, even though they were milled, they're still kind of rough. So you can see this rough stuff, and I think I told you before, the edges are really sharp edges. We're going to round those off with an angle grinder with a sanding disc, or a grinding disc. So we'll get all that cleaned up, and then we got a epoxy lacquer thinner mixture, and paint these with that, and then let that dry. Put 2 or 3 coats on there just for durability and water resistant and all that stuff, and then after that we can paint it white like this, and then we'll be ready to put the net on after that. But it'll take a few days to dry, because this is enamel, and even though it looks dry, it's still kind of soft and squishy if you really put some pressure on it. So we'll have to let it dry for a few days. So we will be back with more building trampolines. Oh, by the way, we're joined. See this? We're joined all the way here. This is it. This is the boat. Let me see if I can get a view. This is, I didn't even realize it until I was just talking to you, that we've got it all, everything's bolted, not tightened down with nuts and stuff, but all the bolts are through the holes, and all the stainless steel's on. And this is basically, and I wish I could get back. Probably I can't, because see, there's a fence there, but I can't really get back and give you the full width. I'll go to the back. Looks better from the front, I think, because it's got all the little pointy things. But from the back, it's kind of cool because it's got the stairs, which people don't have here on their boats. But yeah, so basically this is the full, this is how big she's going to be riding through the ocean there. These are, they're 3 feet, or a little less than 1 meter from hole to hole. From the outside of this hole to the outside of that hole is about 1 meter, a little bit less. 36 inches is really what it is. So anyway, so that is it. That is one joined boat, and that is how it's going to look. So we will be back with more of my Paradise on Italian Island. Bye for now. We got them joined. We're building trampolines, and we're going to have nothing but fun. Bye. The other thing I'm doing, if we ever take this stuff apart, so you know what goes where, as I mark the other ones, this is number 4. This here is number 4. If you look under there, there's 4 indentations just like this, or drilled little indentation. So this side's number 4. This side here is number 4, where all the holes are. This one here is number 4, but I didn't drill it on the top because it doesn't go near where the actual numbers are here. So I labeled it on the side number 4. And you know it's the side because this is the top where the bolt goes through. So all these are labeled using that system, so if we ever take things apart, we can put it all back. As is all the stainless steel is labeled. See, this is number 3 here. It's number 3. And number 3. That's number 1. That connection. This is number 2 connection. This is number 3 connection. And that's number 4 connection. So it's kind of like in a circle of the connections there. So everything's labeled so we know where things will go should we ever decide to take it apart, or even have to replace a part or something. We'll have it done right. So anyway, okay, we got this one done. And actually I got one more thing to do down here. I gotta cut these ends off here. Gotta take my little jigsaw, saber saw, cut off these ends because this is too long, so I got to cut this line here off, and that'll be the end of this, and then this goes under here with the bolt through there, and again labeled number two, and got to cut this one off here too, the same thing. So I'm going to cut those off, and then this trampoline frame will be ready, and that trampoline frame will be ready for sanding and grinding and smoothing. So we will be back with more trampoline bumping, sanding, and grinding and smoothing. Bye for now. Okay, we are back again, and I'll show you what we've been doing. You know, these pieces of wood were just planed at the mill, and what we did, we took like a grinder sanding disc for an angle grinder, and it's 120 grit, and smoothed all these out and rounded the corners here, so it doesn't really cut, just like I did with all these 2x4. I rounded all the corners and made them nice and smooth. So I rounded that, cleaned up all the edges on that one. You see this one over here, sorry, I got the camera pointing at the ground. See, this one's got all the sharp edges, and you can see the rough texture here and that. So we've taken it and smoothing all that out. See here, you can even see it here too, all this roughness and that. Before we epoxy lacquer thinner this wood to waterproof it, and that we're cleaning it all up, making it look good. So this one is all done here. This trampoline frame is all done, and basically I'll show you the setup we got here. We got the angle grinder right there with 120 grit, which is, I don't know if you can get any less than it, like a 240 or something, but if I could, I would. It's pretty aggressive. They got 40s and 60s and 80s, and they're really aggressive. They'll just rip through wood like crazy, and you don't want that because you just lose all your wood. So anyway, what we do, we clamp it down here, and this clamp holds it good enough, you know, that it's not going to wiggle. But see all the indentations and the little rough spots and stuff? See all that? There you go. See all that's got to be cleaned up and smoothed out. And then these sharp edges, see, I know, like I said right there, see how sharp that edge is? Put your knee on that and you're going to be in some pain. So we round all that off all the way around every side with that angle grind into there. And so that's what we're up to right now. So we got, like I said, we got this one done on the port side, and now we're working on the starboard trampoline frame, and we will be back with more. And I'd show you me doing this, but it's simple. You just take the angle grinder, and I'm not gonna just hold it. I'm not gonna turn it on because it's not safe to operate with just one hand. And basically, I just go back and forth with the side, with the edge of it, not flat, because it'll try to jump back and forth because one half of it's going one direction, the other half is going the other one. So you have to just kind of use like at an angle like that front edge, like going down there like that, back and forth until you get all smooth, and then go at a like 45 down here and get that rolled. So that is it, and I'm going to go get back to town. Never operate one without a shield. I don't have a shield. I have a shield. I don't know where the shield is, but I have a shield. And I made the mistake of not having a shield, and it tore a chunk of meat off of this finger right here. Just almost ripped it to the bone, just little touch, because this is just super abrasive. Even the edge of that could just rip everything apart. You rip flesh right off the bone. So have a shield. I don't have a shield. I'm really trying to be extra aware of that and not make any sudden moves or, you know, moves where I'm unaware of how close my hand is to death right there. So anyway, be careful, always using power tools. So we're going to do it, and we'll be back with more by Paradise on Battalion Island. We're getting a little wind kicking up here, as you can see, but it's really nice, and it's blowing the dust in different directions. Some good, some bad. So we'll be back with more with my Paradise on Battalion Island. Trimarans are getting trampolines. Bye for now. I'm going to give you a quick demonstration of how I do this. I just have this little end where the vise was that I couldn't get done, but you can see the difference here between this and this, it's really finished nicely, even with 120, which is, I prefer smoother, but that's good enough. But I'll show you a demonstration of how I do this. Okay, so hopefully you can see this and see what I'm doing. Keep your hands, like I said, you're holding this thing and it's dangerously close to that, so just be careful. So it doesn't really take too much work to do that. It's just really quick and fast. Just keep an eye on it and be safe, and just get it smooth. That's all I'm doing. So we're good to go. This one's done, and we're going to go on to the next one. Bye for now, buddy. All right, well, you see these long pieces of 2x2 that are painted white. Those are our trampoline frames, and they're all painted like 3 or 4 coats, and now we're putting them in here just to store them out of the weather and everything. So we're taking them down and store them. We had them up here to dry, and we had them over there to paint so I could reach them. They were down low, but then after that we moved them over here under the tarpaulin so they could dry and not ever be in the rain. So that worked, and we are taking them down, and we are letting these little sorry, not cross, but our little ocean spray splash guards dry. So I got to take this down. We just kind of ran a wire through all of them have holes in the end because they bolt to each other. We just bent a wire and hung them through there, see, like that, and then they would hang and we could paint. And then we just tied them off here with a little simple loop wherever, and you could adjust that up and down. So for painting they were down, for drying they were up. Yeehaw. We will be back with more. Looks like rain, folks. See that? So we're trying to kind of get everything knocked out and out of the way for now before the rain hits, because it's coming. Bye. What we did, we laid our plywood down. This is our table basically, and then we lay the net down, and then we kind of hook it on these corners here. You see right there, and that keeps the ends wide. And then we reach over here and pull this out so we can start shoelacing it up, pull it over, and then we shoelace it. And okay, that's good. So next we're going to get our fishing line, but we got long ones and we got short ones. The long ones go end to end. Well, this is Celso's line. Where's our?
It's inside of that. It's tied up with the.
Okay. Well, it's not in this hole. This is the line that we sew it with. This is the line that we stitch it on here with. But the shoestring lines are apparently in that first hole, so we gotta go over there and get them. So we'll do that, and we'll be back, and you'll see us starting to shoestring, and we'll be back with more from my paradise on Battalion Island. Bye. Alrighty, the shoestringing has begun. So, like I said before, we laid the net down. We hooked the net on the corners of this 4x sheet of plywood because our trampoline's almost 8 feet long, a little more than 7 feet long. And we so again hooked it on here, and that kind of spread it wide. And then we laid this on top, the frame, and then we pulled the sides over, and then we took and made a little slip knot type arrangement and pulled them through there and pulled them tight. We're going to do one more here in the center, and then we'll do one in between each one. We'll do one near that last board. We'll pull that tight, then we'll put one here, every other one. So when we're done, we'll have 5 or 6 going this way, and then we'll have 3 going this way. You may have seen that in the earlier video. Depends on which video I show you, the second or the first. or both. So anyway, we got to get back. I got to make some of these little slip knot strings to tie this, and then hey everybody, look what we got. This net is it's obviously this is not the finished net, but this is how we get the net tight. See, that's how we get the net tight, by doing all these little things and working our way up and down, because once you start here and you work your way down, then this one's loose again, and then you got to go end to end this way. So pulling this net over here, all of this here has to be strung tight like a banjo string, basically. So that's what we did. We did little loop knots, and then we looped the line through and then pulled it tight, and then we did like like a trucker's hitch to just hold it there, so that each time we come back we just pull the line and then tighten it some more, trucker's hitch, and go to the next one. We're back so at the net, and Lindy and I tried to do our own sewing on this thing, but it wasn't working out. I don't know how to sew it, but we got the expert here. This is Soso. He's one of the brothers building this boat, but he knows how to tie this stuff. And so he's tying all this here. This holds it onto here, and then after that he comes back and sews this top net to this net so that it doesn't try to roll off, roll around and come off. So, but he's tying that, and the type of knot he ties is tied at every space. So if this line breaks, this knot still holds. So that's kind of the beauty of what he does here, and he's knocking it out pretty fast here. We would have never got it right, and the problem is we got down about this far and this part was tight, but all of a sudden this part's really loose, and it's like, well, that ain't gonna work, and that's when we had to call in the expert. So we got him, he's doing it, and we'll be back with more trampoline building from my paradise on Battalion Island. Bye for now. Hey everybody, all right, we got one side done here. Oops, where's my hand? There. Oh yeah, my hand's in front of the camera. Here we tied the two nets together so it doesn't roll off, and here we tied the net to the 2x2. So here the nets are tied here so that it doesn't roll off, and then here we're tying the net onto here. So we got that all the way down there, all the way down. You can see it all the way down to there. And now we're doing this. I'm zoomed in. Now we're doing this side. We're starting here to do all that side, and then we'll come back from there and do the, pinch the two nets together so that they can't roll off of the 2x2 once you're standing on this. It doesn't unroll. And then you're in the water. We don't want to get in the water. If we do, we'll take the stairs at the back of the boat, or jump off the front, or jump off the back. We'll do something, but not through the net. That's not our plan. So we are gonna finish doing this side, and then we'll do these ends, each end, this end, and then that end. Everybody, I bet you said, well, we've already seen this trampoline net before, but what we're doing, we're putting on a second layer of the fish net. And the reason is the first layer was kind of tearing when we tried to pull it tight, so we decided to put two layers on to double the strength. The thing about when you're doing the second layer, it's harder to get it tight, because when it doesn't slide, it gets caught on the knots from the first layer. So these knots get caught and they won't slide over to let you pull it tight, as tight. We've actually got it pretty tight, so I'm not going to really worry about it. And then after we pull it tight, we also again sew these two sides closed so that it doesn't try to roll off, and that just kind of seals the deal. So now we're doing two layers, and we still got to do the black. So we got black net over there in that yellow bag, and we're going to do maybe two layers of that, probably, I'm guessing. But it's the same technique. Just string it up with these guys, the cross ones, pull it tight, and then after that come and do your sewing and your wrapping all the way around. All right, everybody, this is the side that'll be up, and this is the side we'll lay on, walk on, whatever. I'm trying to discourage people from walking because they put all their pressure in one spot, and I don't know. Again, this green net I've used for my fence, and after a while it starts getting holes in it. It just tears. It's pretty good stuff, really. I mean, but you just don't know. It's just never done this before, so I don't know. And again, we're going to put the black net over there in that bag on top of it. 2 layers of that. So we got 2 layers of green and 2 layers of black. And hopefully, and this is kind of, you know, this will stretch because these little squares will turn into little parallelograms and stuff instead of squares, which you can see they are now. And they'll stretch and twist and do different deformations, just because that's inherently what they do. And this string here, whatever it is, has stretch to it. And the black, I'm thinking, has less stretch. So with the black on top of here, I think it'll support things better. It'll also protect this green from the sunlight, all the UV and stuff. And again, these come off. They just lift off. They're not bolted onto the boat at all. They just hang these little edges here. This thing here hangs. There's the cross beam goes here, and this sets on the cross beam, but this thing here butts up against the front / and our back of the cross beams, and so it doesn't go either way. And of course the sides are between the hull, so it doesn't go nowhere. It just sits there. So we can take these off and take them in the house or store them wherever we want to store them out of the sun when we're not using the boat. So, and as you see, this is bowed, and that's good because the side of the boats are bowed, and I want it bowed because that way it fits the boat better. See, this one's got the same bow here, so that's perfect. That's what I want. And I don't know, pulling this tight is pulling in the sides of that, making it bow more, but that's okay because again, I want it to bow more. It didn't bow enough when I first assembled it, but now it may be bowing more and be doing exactly what we want to do. So we will be back with more trampoline for the Trimaran. Bye for now. All right, we did the 2 green, and now we did a black. And I don't know if you can see the black. The black is really small. You see it there? Can you see the black? It's more of a crisscross than a diamond shape. But we got it on there. And that, see, our toes won't go into the diamond shaped stuff and get stuck if we're walking or whatever, snagging, or you know, you're in the boat, rod goes off or a fish, and you got to run across here real quick, and you get your toe down in there and you rip a toenail or toe off. But anyway, this will prevent it. It's very soft. It's actually comfortable on the feet. It's a smoother surface than this thing. So anyway, we are going to tie the next one, and then we'll do a second black on here, and then we'll be good to go for this one. So we will be back with more from my Paradise on Bentayan Island. Bye for now. I know you think, well, haven't we seen this before? Well, actually 4 times. Or this is the 4th time, because this is the 4th layer of netting. So we got 2 layers of green, and we got 2 layers of black. We've got all the stuff sewed up here, except for this last layer, and Celso, the man right there, is going to come and we'll see if he can sew this up. Here we are. We're doing the official test on the trampoline, and so far it works. Lindy, chubby Lindy, is on here, and it's sinking down a lot more than I thought it would, but still, I guess I've never been on a real catamaran trampoline, so I don't know how much it sinks down, but it's pretty springy, and she's putting her knees into it and everything, and I haven't heard it rip yet. Yeah, honey, try not to put your knees into it. Those points, you spread your weight out. Spread your weight out. Yeah, keep your weight spread out. But, okay, but she stood up and walked on it too, so it seems to be doing its job right now. This is actually where this trampoline goes, here between these 2 hulls here, and it'll be centered kind of like that, roughly, with a little gap there and a little gap there, just so it's not rubbing against the side of the boat and that. And then we'll just tie some kind of a line around here to hold it down. It's not nailed or connected to the boat in any way other than it sets on it, and we'll have like a little fishing line wrapped around it or something. We'll figure out some kind of way. Just so that if we hit a wave, it doesn't fly off, or the wind hits it, it doesn't fly off. One string tied there, one string tied here, and that'll be it. And you already saw Lindy on it. You haven't seen me on it, but if you see me on it,
to stand up?
no, you already did. You already walked on it. I'm not trying to break it, but I need to get on it and see how it holds up. Here, let me. I'm gonna do my Superman and see if I can fly on it. Just a minute. I'm just joking. I'm not. I'm just gonna tell them that. Bye for now. There's the fat guy. There's the fat guy. It's comfortable. It's comfortable. Now, I'm not walking on it. I'm just laying, but it seems to be holding it. There's a little bit of spring. Like I said, this is mahogany wood. I'm 200 pounds. I'm 100 kilos. 97 kilos, something like that. But I'm bouncing and it's bouncing, so we're good. So we'll see. It's until we get confidence, it's going to be pretty scary doing what we're doing right now in the ocean. But if we go camping, camping, this is perfect. That's your bed. This is mine.
Yeah.
Just sleep under the stars or under the tarpaulin, whatever the tarpaulin is. But yeah, honey, everything feels fine.
Tag-isa sila tayo at sa pikas.
Sa dagat, inamin na yung gaan na ka naman sa dagat. Malihok naman ang kamot. Pinagahi ba? Sunod-sunod ang kamot.
Tagsa ni sila tayo ang usa to speakers.
Yan ay magda.
Wanay driver, sige nagkatog.
Okay.